Hey everyone, it's Coach Mo Fall. Welcome to another episode of Coach Mo Live. I'm going to be breaking down all of the career missteps, problems, misfortunes, setbacks that I see in the women who I work with. And frankly, these were my setbacks also as a healthcare executive and a professional. I had a 30-year career that was on a great trajectory. I know a thing or two about moving a career forward, but truthfully, what professional women typically are missing is their soul's power. That's the secret ingredient we use in the coaching I employ in my kick-ass career workshop, where over 12 weeks, we take women through a transformational journey, just like the one that I know your soul is begging to have. If you're a professional woman who has not achieved where you think you should achieve, if you are terrified that you're going to get stuck at this job you have and maybe you don't like it so much and you work your butt off and you feel that you're overqualified for it, but you don't know what to do. If you're applying for jobs, getting interviews and no callbacks, or maybe you're not even getting interviews, perhaps you're constantly updating and submitting your resume and it's not really happening. Perhaps you're falling asleep searching online on the job boards and you're just feeling like, what is going on here? You might feel that it doesn't matter how much experience, expertise, and talent you have, and you're still getting ignored. If you haven't accelerated your career in the last 3 years, you need to sit tight. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to describe for you a few things that are going down in the wrong direction for you. Talk about how my clients have overcome these same problems that you have, and also a solution and a way out. So after coaching hundreds, literally thousands of professional women through this, I've seen the 3 reasons why women don't get hired over and over again. And it boils down to these things. You may not have the clarity at the soul level about your true gifts. So you end up applying for jobs that aren't truly aligned and you're just sort of hoping. What we do, and the true reason why we help women change this, is because at the soul level, if your power is not turned on and not infusing your gifts and talents, you're going to fall flat. And you know what? They may interview you, but it's going to be crickets. And you're going to wonder why in the world and what is going on. And you look great on paper. That's why they interviewed you. The other reason is that you're operating out of a scarcity mindset, feeling desperate and afraid. And this energy repels people who would hire you. You know, it sounds sort of like, really, that would happen? But truthfully, all human beings are energy transmitting and receiving antenna. Our physical body is taking in and sending out energy every single millisecond of our lives. And even if you're not in the same room, your energy gets transmitted and it's received. So there may be some things that you're just not operating at the best sense of self. And the third thing is that as women, our conditioning stops us from talking powerfully about our gifts and talents. And we're not carrying ourselves with confidence. Just last night, actually, I was coaching several of my clients in my kick-ass workshop about just this issue, where we feel bad because of our conditioning about touting our gifts and talents. Look, you don't want to be that arrogant jerk who is just all full of themselves. I get that. But what you do want to do is have congruency and alignment with what you do bring to the table. But our conditioning as young girls and as women has pushed that out of alignment for us. And we feel that we shouldn't have to do that, that they should notice our hard work. I know that's the way that we want it to feel. And frankly, the romanticism of that sounds like it ought to be the way the world works, but it's simply not. I'm going to introduce you by virtue of describing one of my awesome clients to a woman who was sending out resume after resume after resume. And I actually did her clarity call myself. And if you'd like to check in with us and have a deep dive into what's not working and talk about where your dreams are, and if we can help you close that gap, go ahead and book a complimentary career clarity call at mofall.com/strategy. And we're going to talk about what the real clarity is for you and what the strategies for the next steps. So this particular client was sending out resume after resume, and she was literally feeling like they were hitting a black hole. And when we spoke to her on the clarity call, and if you don't like truth, ladies, don't bother, because we're all about truth, congruency, power, and alignment. And that means we get real. So we got real with this woman on her clarity call and helped her understand where she was really coming from energetically at the soul level. Look, she had everything on paper. As a matter of fact, she was probably overqualified to some degree to the jobs she was applying for. Another problem that happens when you're like, well, if I'm overqualified, then maybe they'll want me. No, no, no. Anyway, this woman was sending out resume after resume and getting nowhere. The first week she started working with us, she began getting interviews. All of a sudden, her luck changed. And let me tell you, it wasn't her luck, it was her energy. She began to feel awesome about herself. She began to feel that she was in truth with the real gifts and talents that she was offering to her potential new employer. And she was out of work. So there was a desperation going on for her about, I hope I can get something. Most of our clients are in jobs that they don't love, or they're not at the same level. They're not getting stimulated enough. They haven't made a move lately, or they've gotten passed over for promotions. But about 30% at any time of the women in our workshop are not working. And yeah, there's a sense of desperation, like, I got to get this done now. With our proven formula, you're going to be able to execute on that secret recipe of getting yourself moving forward. This woman eventually landed a fantastic job. And she was so grateful and loved on us so much for all the work that we helped her uncover and get into the truth and into her power. You know, there are certain things that hiring managers or recruiters are looking for on paper, but I'm going to tell you what the real truth is, that the candidates that they want to talk to in advance are candidates that they feel good about. That's not on your resume or your LinkedIn profile. So what we do is help you feel good about yourself first, because if that's not happening, no one else is going to feel good about you. You can't pretend that you feel awesome and pretend in your interview that you feel awesome. Your nerves, your fear, your desperation, your sense of not feeling awesome is going to come out. Maybe not in the words, although that'll probably happen and you don't even realize it, but it'll be in how you talk and how you present yourself. Look, I've interviewed thousands of people in my executive career, thousands. I've hired hundreds of people. I worked at companies where we were growing rapidly, so I had to really sort through talent. And I'm going to tell you something, I would have rather hired someone who had less credentials and a better attitude and a better feel than someone who had all the credentials and I wasn't feeling it. If you have both the credentials and the feel in it, rock star. And that's what we do. That's why we call our kick-ass workshop the kick-ass workshop. We're going to help you understand all of this. But let me tell you something. Woman after woman who we talk to, if you're not feeling awesome inside, you're not going to be able to convince someone else that you're awesome. You cannot do that. It is impossible. It's like pretending if you are looking at a riverbed and you're looking at the other side of the river and wanting to get across the river, it's like pretending that that river doesn't exist. Like, you might be able to walk into the water, but eventually the waves and the current of that river, you're going to feel it. So you're going to feel, and you're going to get feels in your interview. And then your rational brain is going to give you all kinds of reasons why that happened and not be at the truth. Let me tell you about Roz. Roz was a great, great client example of this very same thing. She had some really, really deep personal tragedy that caused her to lose her job. Her parents both were ill and died within months of each other. And she was left dealing with all of that. While she was taking care of her parents, she basically lost her job because she couldn't stay actively employed enough for that long-standing job and career that she had, that she loved, actually. So when she came to us, she was really down on her luck, really feeling sad and dealing not only with job trauma, but personal trauma as well. And we rock and rolled with her. Matter of fact, Roz is a woman who enjoys singing in bars and cabarets and at church. And she had even lost the desire to sing. Now, when I'm talking to someone who's been through what she's been through and she's not able to get her career back and she can't even sing, I know that it's her soul that needs resurrecting first. And that's why we do that first things first. Roz was spiraling down, interviewing, but nothing else. No one was following up with her. She didn't know what was going on. She was playing small and trying to please recruiters, and she was just getting rejection after rejection. She was on the verge of bankruptcy when she and I met, and she used every resource that she could to join our workshop because she said, Mo, I need help. And there's nothing wrong with needing help. All the best experts and most successful people in the world, they get help and they surround themselves with people who can support and enliven who they are and what they do. Roz actually called herself Wonder Woman when she was in the Kick-Ass workshop and began singing again. As a matter of fact, she shared many of her singing videos with us while she was in the workshop. She landed a fantastic job putting her video elevator pitch on LinkedIn in a total kick-ass move. And she began feeling herself in interviews and talking to recruiters. Matter of fact, I'll never forget a story that she told about actually having several recruiters meet her for lunch. And she said it was the best time she ever had. She was just being herself and talking about herself. You know, the cool thing is an interview is the only place that you can really talk about yourself and not feel judged or that you're not supposed to be talking that way. It's an awesome way for you to spread your wings, spread your soul, and feel awesome. But if you don't have that inside, you're not going to do that. Let me tell you about Deidre. Deidre had lost her job several months before she joined our workshop. I believe she was out of work for 3 or 4 months. And when she began working with us, she started understanding what she was missing. She began understanding that she was missing the true feeling that she was worth more than scrounging around for the lowest level job she could get into. You know, she had a decent career and a decent job, but she knew there was so much more for her, didn't know how to get it. She didn't know how to access it. And in getting to know her in the workshop, we uncovered that she was really underplaying because she was afraid. She was afraid that she couldn't, and she was afraid that she wasn't. So we helped her become all of that. As a matter of fact, cool plot twist here. She decided to totally cut her hair and change her hairstyle when she was in the workshop as she was nearing her graduation date. And then the most marvelous thing happened. She landed a great contract job that was the next bridge thing for her. And she felt happy and excited to do that job and to get back into the workforce. And she was really, really super excited about the contribution she was making there. And she continued to do the work that we had done in our 12-week workshop. And within months of that, she went from good job to a great job. Everything she had put on her wish list when we first started working together came together for her. And her parents were cheering her on. It was the most amazing trajectory for her parents to see one of their children reach that high level of being a chief financial officer and really, really owning high level of executive presence. I'm coming to you today because I knew you had to hear this story. I knew you had to hear this message. If you want to solve your career problem, there's some things that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to push through some fear. But guess what? My team will hold your hand every step of the way, like you did with Roz and Deidre and thousands of others. Our clients hear me talk about this all the time. It's called moving through your fear to get to your power. And each and every one of those women who we've helped land their beautiful job and get their soul resurrected, they did one thing in common. They booked that clarity call. So go to mofall.com/strategy, book that appointment to speak to us. Let us help you create the career you want. Let us help you understand why you're not getting hired, why you're not getting promoted in that job. We want you to understand the things that some of the main articles out there, we follow the Muse, Forbes, all sorts of pundits, if you will, about why you're not getting the job, but truthfully, they're not going to fix it. You're not going to read an article and fix this problem. It's at the soul level. And, if you have lack of follow-up, if you don't know the audience that you're interviewing, if you're being overly ambitious and excited and sort of like touting things that don't matter to the people who are interviewing you, perhaps you're speaking about your career's missteps and that sort of thing, sort of playing the victim. Maybe you're having negative body language. I don't know if you're transmitting your lack of soul power or confidence, but it's probably coming out either directly or indirectly. Sometimes the hiring manager is just looking to feel good with someone. And if you miss the mark with that, you're not going to get hired. So when you're qualified or aptly qualified, 50% of the job description is aptly qualified, you're going to get hired if the hiring manager feels good with you. Let us help you fix that, because we don't want you to feel like there's a black hole or a secret reason why you're not getting hired. This is why you're not getting hired. Chances are you have the education, expertise, and experience to do it all, or do enough of it, or rise to the next level, or totally own it. And you want it so badly inside, but you don't have the congruency inside. Let's get that taken care of for you. mofall.com/strategy. And if you're listening to this right now, post a comment below, post a question. We'd be happy to answer and ask it. Wherever you're seeing this or hearing this, please feel free to post a comment or a question. We'd love to answer questions, comments, and help direct you in the right way. For those of you who are clients listening to this wonderful episode, please feel free to comment below about what you gained from the workshop and what you gained from all the work that you've learned and the tools that you have on your tool belt. All of our gals tell us how awesome it is to have a tool belt that they can rely on forever. This is Coach Mo Fall, founder and creator of the Kick-Ass Workshop, America's Kick-Ass Career Coach, where we help professional women get promotions, salary increases, and land new jobs, no matter what the economy is doing, all without working harder, playing office politics, or being inauthentic. Today is your day to make a move for your career. Book your complimentary career clarity call, and let's sort it out with you. And if we can help you, we're going to be your strongest advocate to get your career and life moving forward. Your soul is the only thing worth your power and truth. And when you resurrect it, your career goes in the right direction. We got strategies after that as well. So it's Coach Mo Fall, mofall.com/strategy gets you that complimentary career clarity call. We'll see you next time on Coach Mo Live for another career and soul enhancing lesson.